Welcome to your skills guide for Palia, part 2. We'll be covering the last 4 skills in this video: bug catching, mining, fishing, and cooking. Let's get into it. Bug catching. Do you enjoy running around, throwing smoke bombs at every tiny creature you find? Then this is the skill for you. The entire premise around this skill is to aim, throw, grab, repeat. Using your vast collection of smoke bombs, catching bugs is a great way to earn money, especially early on. You'll be speaking to Ani for your bug catching store. He'll give you access to several useful tools and a variety of smoke bomb recipes, but you can get away with the standard smoke bomb from most insects. Sure, you may burn through 10 of them on a single butterfly, but what else are you using them for? One thing you will want to do on your bug excursions is hunt down any of the shiny, sparkling bugs. These bugs are higher quality, which means they're also worth more. The main purpose of collecting any insect in Palia is for selling or putting them on display, but there are a few recipes that use them. Badru has a recipe for fertilizer that uses them, for example. Also, apparently crabs count as bugs. Just thought I'd let you know that crabs submerged underwater are indeed very vulnerable to being intoxicated by smoke bombs. Mining might arguably be the simplest skill to use and level in Palia, at least in terms of the gameplay loop. Hit rock. Pick no good, make better. Hit rock again. Did break? Huzzah! Now has muscles like Hadari. Hadari is your one-stop shop for everything mining related, by the way, including the recipes for your furnaces. The main things you'll actually be smashing are standard rocks, copper rocks, iron rocks, and the much more elusive and highly desirable Palium rocks. I just got it. It's Palia. You're mining for Palium. You will need to break some clay rocks too, which can be found by several shorelines, while ore rocks tend to be beside cliffs. Occasionally you'll get an additional type of ore while harvesting, such as silver and gold. There's a song in there somewhere, I'm sure of it. According to the description of these ore, you'd assume it's really only used for selling, but furniture making exists. So you might want to keep a few around for anything you may want to build in your house. The forge also has plenty of options for smelting. You may notice that to make things like silver bars takes far more time than any other. So if you spend the day mining and plan to log back in the next day, this is the perfect time to set the forge to smelt all your silver or gold. They're worth the most to sell for by a long shot, so the wait is worth it. Probably. Next up is fishing. Go talk with our adorably socially inept Einar for everything you want to know and buy for this skill. You can fish in most deep water, but not in running water. What you're really looking for are ripples in the water. Just like shiny bug catching, this is where you'll be able to catch higher quality fish. You can also improve your fishing rod by crafting or buying 2 types of attachments for the rod, and also by equipping bait. The attachments have their own durability, so you'll need to replace them eventually. But you can get a worm farm from Einar that doubles as a fertilizer production station for gardening. The fishing gameplay loop is simple. Hold left click to reel in your catch, but only while the fish is within your reticle. If it's outside of the reticle or jumping, your line might snap, so move your mouse left and right to keep it on the line, and release when necessary. I've also noticed that you need to wait for exactly 3 bobs of your lure before the fish will grab, just like in real life. Yes, that was a twofold joke. Yes, I did realize it. Was that out of line? Did that joke hook you onto my content? Please don't leave. Remember how I said mining might be the simplest gameplay loop? Well, cooking is not. This is the skill that arguably requires the most work to manage, if only because you need a lot of ingredients for some foodstuffs you want to make. It can seem pretty complex, but it's pretty straightforward once you get the hang of it. Before we get into how it works, let's talk about our local lettuce soup enthusiast, Reth. This is who you'll speak to for most of your cooking needs. Your workstations and most of your recipes will also come from him. Here's how it works. You pick a recipe to make, decide whether or not to use quality ingredients, choose whether you still want to make it in spite of not necessarily having all the ingredients listed, because this is partially designed to work as a co-op skill apparently, and then you get put on a timer. With me so far? Wonderful. Gordon Ramsay would be proud. Maybe. Within that time span, you'll need to complete a variety of simple mini-games, usually involving clicking the left mouse button a whole bunch. If the dish is more complex, it may include using multiple workstations. Once those are done, you can add your ingredients together and finish the final mini-game, which also seems to just have you holding left click. By the way, cooking with the campfire is exempt from everything except for choosing quality ingredients, so you can start and forget if you've got other things to do. Another thing to note is that the amount of focus a dish has, the the ingredients used and the time spent on it doesn't necessarily influence a dish's sale price. Really not sure why the math works out that way, but the quality of the dish does help if you plan to sell what you make or want higher focus. Of course, if you're like me, you may end up hoarding everything you make, grow, or find. I mean, of course I need 30 good quality tomatoes at all times. Just like you can continue to check out quality content if you subscribe. Whew, that would hurt. Next week, I'll be sharing some tips and tricks to improve your time on Palia. Let me know what you think about Palia since it's still an open beta. Are there things you wish were different? Or perhaps something you want added to the game? Dynamic weather, anyone? Check out the videos on the right to learn more about my time in Palia. I'm your Benefactor, and I pray you have a wonderful day.